Hello, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat.
Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
I've been yeah, it's the Black Country Blokes chewing the fat about everything it is men's mental health, disability, and my backbone, boxing. It was me, Kev Dylan, bloody, I've got my own name wrong. That's how drunk I am, and Lee Cadman, and we're joined today by the Savage Sam Eggington. So I'm so happy to get this bloke on. I mean, anyone who knows anything about boxing, one of the toughest animals in the game, but a lovely bloke. And we're going to tell you all about Sam, his brilliant career, and what he's doing, where he's going, where he's been. But as always, we all sort of our gratitude list, and I'm grateful for so many things. As always, I had two of my lads boxing the other day in the Ed Billerby Cup. One got unlucky, which is amateur boxing, and the other one, Will Wilson. I've had him there since he's been 6 years old. He's 19, and he come back with a gold. And he's been through the ups, downs. He gets so unlucky when it matters, but I'm so happy he got his gold. I'm also going to give a shout out to my lad Tom Jones, who also fought in the Billerby, who's going down to the Harringay this weekend. So go and get him, Tommy. League, what are you grateful for?
Good luck, Tommy. So starters, go and do it. Well, I completed my running 5k every day in May challenge for Dravet syndrome, and I'm grateful for all the money we raised. I think we're over close to 2,500 we've raised altogether, and it goes to a great cause. So yeah, I'm grateful for everyone who sponsored me.
I'm just getting ahead of myself. Sam's only just gone and signed us some stuff as well to auction off either at the Lions boxing shows, and I'd like to donate one to Dravet UK. See if we can raise some money, just that little push. Because as you say, for these charities, these small charities, a bit of money, and I reckon we'll get quite a bit of money off for Del Pal. Yeah. So thank you, Sam.
Well, this one's close to my heart as well, with my daughter having it. So it's, it means a lot to be able to give a bit back to them, because they've given us equipment every year. We're going to Centre Parks this weekend that they've paid a big chunk towards, and I think there's another 50 families going. Yeah. And again, they do that, and they provide an ambulance all weekend. So if there is an emergency, we're looked after well.
Yeah, so thank you again, brother. So Sam, what are you grateful for?
You caught me off guard. I think just being healthy. Everyone in the house is healthy. I'm in a good place. Everyone in the house is. My kids, my wife. If I'm honest, at the moment, that's about it. I mean, I'm good. At the moment, that's all that could go wrong. So it hasn't at the moment. I'm in a good place in my career. And as long as home life is good, I think everything follows on from that. So yeah.
And it's the most important thing, isn't it? Health and family. And there's old saying, a well man wishes for a million things, a sick man only wishes for one. And when your children are poorly, God, it's the worst feeling. When you've had the blue lights here, you give anything just for what we take for every day granted, good health, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I think like I say, we can all hope for a lot of things, but as long as that's okay and everyone's good, I think that's also you can ask for, really.
So I mean, we've seen you professionally. Is it you turned over in 2012?
Yeah.
But God, it's crazy that, and you're still a young man, aren't you? Really, 30, are you?
31.
31. That's just madness. I feel like I've been watching you forever.
I feel like I've been doing it forever.
For your amateur career, where did you box?
So at the start, I started with Wally.
Oh yeah, Wally ABC.
Yeah, I started with Wally. My older brothers started at Wally, and we all started. I was about 8 or 9.
But Johnny Nash. They've just had a King's Award as well on the same day.
Yeah. Craig Cunningham was up there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started there when I was about 8 or 9. My older brother's 1 year older than me. My older brother's 2 years older than him. So my older brother's 2 years older than me. My older brother's 1 year older than him. So I'm the baby, and we all started. And then we had a few fights. I think I had 6 before I quit at around 13, because obviously everyone's got better things to do as a teenager. We all quit, if I'm honest, me and my 2 brothers. My oldest brother didn't even box. the one just above me, I think he had about 16, and it weren't too bad of a record. I think he lost 4. I think. By the time I'd quit, I'd had 6. And I think I'd lost 1 or 2. And then at random, I just went back when I was about 15, and went from there. Had about, I think in the end, I had about 32.
Back with Worley.
Yeah. I think I had about 32. And I think I lost 8 or 9.
It's a bloody good record.
It wasn't too bad, but again, by the time I'd reached 17, I'd already had a baby, so it was either do the amateur boxing or get a job, and I didn't really have any choice at this point. So the boxing went to the wayside, and I got a job.
That's that's a lot of responsibility at 17, isn't it? That
it's again, it's a cliche, but it kind of molds you into the person you have to be, and if it's not, then you're wrong. And so
which is, as you say, it should change. But some people, they don't fall in love with a child. They go off, they rebel, they come back to fatherhood. But some people, they step up to the mark the first time, don't they?
Yeah, I think, like I say, I weren't a good kid either. Like I say, I said this the other day. I weren't ever going to end up in jail. Do you know what I mean? I weren't a big drug dealer, or I weren't super crazy. I was never going to end up in jail or on drugs and on the roads. It was never going to happen. But I weren't good. I was always in trouble somewhere. And as soon as I had my son, it all changed. I had my first flat by the time I was 17. I had a son, and it also went from there.
And then when did you turn over? When you at 18?
Yeah, so I had a job. Obviously, I was a forklift driver, and I got made redundant, mainly because I had to start at 6. And I lived in Stourbridge. The steel factory was in Crayley Heath. I had to be there for 6, but the first train was at 6, so I was late every day. It was just a given. And I was there for I don't know how long, a few months maybe. And they said, "Listen, this ain't gonna happen." So they sacked me off. And Craig Cunningham, luckily enough, was turning professional at the time, and he was going. I was up to John Peggs, so I rang Craig and I said, "I heard about this journeyman stuff. Tell your manager to ring me, and I'll come up." So I spoke to John. I said, "Listen, I want to go on the road. I've got a son. I want to earn." And I heard about him getting paid, win, lose or draw, and I was doing it every week. And I was like, "I'll have a bit of that."
And if you're doing it every week, it's not actually that bad pay, is it? It's some shows you can do all right.
Crazy money, like I say. I think the price has gone up now for 4 rounders, but if you were a journeyman back then doing 4 rounds every week, you're picking up, I don't know, 1,200 quid, I think.
Which a week?
Quid.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
From what I remember, I thought I was going to be doing that every week. So I was laughing. Look, to be fair, John Pegg did say to me after the few spars we had before my first fight, he said, "I don't know about being a journeyman. I don't think it's going to work out for you." He said there was just too much there. I weren't, unbelievably talented. But every time I got hit, I really wanted to do some damage back.
Which is not what you do as a journeyman,
John was
is it?
like, "That's not really journeyman style."
Yeah.
I was like, "Just don't worry about it. Let's just get the ball rolling." And we went away from my first fight in Wales, I think it was, against a kid who was 4. He had 4. I think he drew 1. He drew against Dale Evans. Yeah, he'd won the other 3, and I beat him. So that journeyman stuff
Take the wind
straight away. But yeah, it's just snowballed from there.
And obviously, how many fights you had when you went into prize fighter? That wasn't many, was it?
No, so I think it was 3 or 4. I think it was 3.
Yeah.
Honest. I boxed in Wales. I think it was 3. I think my 4th fight was prize fighter.
And that was a really, I remember watching that. And
Dale Evans,
Dale, luckily you revenged that, didn't you, in the end? But,
to be fair, his record doesn't show it, but he can punch like a mule, honest to God.
Yeah.
Both hands, and he's not even trying. And everything hurts. Everything hurt every time he threw a punch. It was.
But that was the kind of launch here, wasn't it? That.
And then I had one after that, and then I got the Midlands title fight.
And who was that against?
Stephen Pearce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I won that away from home again. Well, I shouldn't say away from. It was Dudley, but it was his show. So
yeah.
I was in the away corner.
Yeah.
But we picked that one up. So it's snowballs. And then I went another prize fight after that. So I just took every opportunity, if I'm honest.
I suppose that is the journeyman mentality. I know you weren't a journeyman then, but that was the mentality. You're going, well, I'll fight anyone, do anything just to earn a bit of money.
Mentality now.
Yeah.
I've always took every opportunity, whether it be small or big. Like, if you look at my record, I've had so many fights because if I've been offered a 4-rounder on the back of a show in some random nightclub, I'll take it because I just want to be active.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be active. I wanted to build, and I've just took every opportunity I've given. Like I say, 2 prize fighters, fights that have some fights that people never thought I'd win, but I've took the opportunity, and sometimes they've come off great, and sometimes it's not been my night. But I think you've got to take your opportunity, especially if you're not a big amateur, medalist or Olympian sort of thing.
And I think that's a lot of the flaw with the big amateur though, because you look at people like Ben Ricketts, he's doing great, but he's not fighting regular enough for a novice pro. It's like, you shouldn't really call him a novice because he's not, he's not technically a novice, but he is a novice pro, isn't he? You think actually building up, ideally, you want to be fighting a good few times a year, not twice, 3 times a year.
I would say that, but again, other people have different opinions.
Yeah.
And this, everyone these days, whether you've had 3-4 rounders or, you're at world title fights, you may have a thing where you only fought twice a year, and everyone wants to do that, don't they? They want to be copy that. They see him doing that, so they think they should do that, and I think that's where it all comes from. Trying to fight just as and when.
Yeah.
But once you're a multi-millionaire at the end of your career, then you can do that.
Yeah, like I said, I might be wrong. People might think I'm crazy, but I feel like that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, Mayweather was an insane trainer year round. He didn't, and he didn't take that time off the gym. He just took that time. He just took the 2 fights, and there's a big difference in there to be taking a bit of time out, having a few weeks off, and then getting back into training and taking 6 months completely off and training for 3 weeks. It's
again, each to their own, I suppose.
It is.
But yeah, for me, I like to be as active as possible. 4 rounds at the bottom of a local bill, or 12 rounds at the top of a TV bill.
You've done some great TV experience. Even being at Channel 5, and you've been on telly countless number of times, because anyone you talk to who knows about boxing knows your name. And as you say, that's because you've had to go undercard or overcard, top of the bill, and you've fought some bloody good names. Who would you say the best boxer is you've fought?
There's been a lot of. I think Liam Smith is just, because with Liam Smith, I feel like this is gonna sound really bad, but he does nothing super brilliant, but he does everything at 90%.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not a super big hitter, but he hits hard enough to get your respect. Everything he does is at 90%, whereas other people, they hit really hard, but then their boxing's not that great, or their boxing's great, but they don't hit really hard. I feel like Liam Smith is just all around the board. He's just about 90%. Everything he does is for a reason. His ring IQ is unbelievable. I think, if he's on the ropes, it's probably because he wants to be there. If he's got you on the ropes, it's probably because he wants to do it. If he's not throwing the right hand, it's because he's waiting for someone. I just think his ring IQ is unbelievable. I think Liam Smith was just, he's not super tricky. He kind of does everything just right. Do you know what I mean? His jabs like lightning. It caught me all night. My eye just blew up in a heartbeat because his jab was just lightning. He knows how to open you up to get into the body and bring them up to the head. And I think of them all, he was just, he's not someone you could bully either. Do you know what I mean? He's big enough and strong enough to hold you off. And
you'd have moved up a weight then as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That fight.
Again, it was probably a bit early, moving up a weight, and I was coming off a loss as well. So, but Matchroom gave me no choice. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think just all around the board, Liam Smith, he's the best.
And I remember when he fought like Frankie Gavin.
Yeah.
Like the only Englishman ever to win the world. And I think Frankie really, how brilliant he was. He didn't excel at being a pro.
No.
And when he boxed you, I was thinking, oh, God, like Frankie. But you really took him to the well.
Yeah.
I think he did better than you think. Because I think everyone just thought he was going to be world title, didn't they?
I think with Frankie, he'd have been a world beat if it had just been, if he was just, he didn't have no, what's the word? He didn't live it.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? No, he should have really started. I think. I mean, I don't know Frankie that well. I don't know what his body's like, but I think he should have started professional at lightweight. Maybe lightweight. Some people say even lightweight. And if he started at lightweight, he'd have had a few fights there. He'd have won countless stuff like that. He was just technically unbelievable. And then he'd probably moved up the weights to lightweight and probably even hit welterweight. But he started at welter. I think that was too big for him. Although when he was at a certain level, he was just taking the mick out of people, and he could because he was that good. But when he got to a point where lads really were just coming to have a go,
you could push him back and bully him a bit, couldn't you?
I think at lightweight and at super welter, light welter, sorry, he would have been something else.
And that's why we have weight categories for a reason, isn't he?
But he was Frankie. I don't think Frankie's would mind me saying he was lazy with it. He had no dedication, I don't think.
He's come back out to bare knuckle, hasn't he? He's going bare knuckle route. Are you going to it?
I don't know what to say here.
Yeah.
But I think, like I say, because Frankie before the fight and after the fight, we sparred both before and after, and he played with me. He was just unreal. It was effortless. It was effortless. But once we had 12 rounds in front of us. There was just, at the time, it was a big build up as well. There was a lot of digs each way. Do you know what I mean? So I kept out of it personally, but my coach got a lot of the flack. But there was a lot of fans that were really giving me some grief, and it only spurred me on. But it was a good night.
I mean, like you're saying that the fans giving you grief, you strike me as someone who either couldn't give a toss about booing you, or it almost lights a fire in you.
There's almost a bit of you sick about you, like I don't really care.
If I'm honest, I've never gone into an argument online.
Yeah,
just got no chance. I don't really care. Well, like I say, a lot of I know it's a cliche, but a lot of them are sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? They're doing nothing.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? None of them could, follow me on a run. Never mind, talk about my boxing. So I don't get into it at all.
No, it's not worth your time.
Me at all either.
It's only going to destroy your peace, isn't it?
Yeah, like I say, it means nothing. I know what I've got to do, and I know I do everything to make sure it happens. Sometimes it don't go my way, but I know I've done everything. I think if my coach was here now, they'd tell you the same thing. I probably do too much in camp than not enough. So again,
do you train outside of camp? Are you an all round?
Yeah, I do a bit. I mean, this time I have had it longer than I wanted off. I had about. When did I fight? I started training last week, maybe this week. No, this week. Sorry, because I've just come back off holiday as well. So I think it was this week I started training. So I think it's been like 6 weeks, which is quite long. And normally I don't do much, but I'm always running.
Yeah. I see you quite often actually running around Stourbridge.
Yeah, I'm just always running. I just put a podcast on something and I just run.
Who do you listen to usually when you?
Comedies, anything comedy.
Yeah.
I'm honest, I'm not a very serious person.
Yeah.
As long as I'm laughing, I'm
especially during a run.
Yeah, it kills.
Something to lighten it.
Gets you. Sometimes it gets you. Like I say, but as long as it's like hide and laugh, I'll give it a blast.
And he's still with Soggy, Paul Soggy.
Yeah.
Great bloke as well. Shout out to him. Once again, a great coach.
Yeah.
Have you always been since you turned pro? You've always been with him.
Well, I was with John Pegg, weren't I?
Oh, of course, Johnny Pegg. Yeah.
And then when we moved gym, the gym closed down or something. The first one in Digbeth, I was with John Pegg, and we trained at Hall Green for a lot. That's where I was fighting Frank Gavin quite early on. This was like Midlands title times, and then when we moved from there, Soggy's amateur gym, from what I heard, that got shut down as well, like the building or something.
Oh yeah,
so John and
so
John and Soggy built, pro-am gym, and that's what we're doing now. So I've been with Soggy, and his son Louis and John Pegg. John Pegg from the start, and Soggy and Louis from quite early doors as well. I mean, I think there was training me with the PS fight as well, the Midlands title fight. Even actually, I remember doing pads with Soggy at the prize fighter. So I was probably 2 or 3 fights in when Soggy jumped on board as well. Yeah.
But it's nice when you've had someone and you know each other.
Yeah.
You train it, and not a lot of some people move coaches because you outgrow each other, you have a fallout. Some people think the grass is always greener. Yeah. When you've got someone who's been there through wins, losses, and everything, and then you know each other inside out.
Yeah.
That is loyalty, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I've never changed. I've never changed trainer. I think, like you say, I think people think the grass is greener. You know, they'll see, you know, someone doing something great, and you've just had a loss, and they'll think that they must be doing something you're not. It's not that. It's just that you had a bad night at the office. It's just that simple. A lot of people do, but moving gym give you that excuse, innit? Well, that's what I did. So I moved gym, or move a weight. I have to go up a weight because I'm too big for that weight now. So I want to move up a weight. I'll be fine. Or move down a weight because I was too small for that. So it's any excuse you can try and give yourself. I think always, to be fair, again, it's my culture there that tell you. It's like water for ducks back. I get back in the gym, win, lose or draw, and I do the same as what I did last camp. It's just it never really affects me. I've never, you know, like people lose and they need building up.
Yeah,
we'll have you a few 4 rounders, get you a 6 round to build you up. I've never needed it. You know, mentally, I've always just been like, it was a bad night. Let's get it again.
But your expectation was never where you landed either, was it?
Yeah, I think that's a massive help. I always say this, whereas I turned over to a box just to earn some dough. So, you know, when you get on big stages, people who love it and really want to do well, that sort of stuff could freeze someone because they really want to do well on this stage. Whereas me, I'm just like, let's get this done and we'll get on the motorway home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I boxed at the O2 on Tony Bellew, David Haycard. I boxed on the big Manchester Bills, London. You know, I've been everywhere. I'll get out of the ring, have a shower, and I'll go home. I've never had an after party because it's just my job. I've never looked. I don't watch it now, if I'm honest. I don't watch boxing that much now.
Do you watch your opponents leading up, or you didn't? No.
Nah. I wouldn't get nothing from it, mate.
No.
People always say that as well. Like, do you think you'd be a trainer after boxing? I'm just not that way inclined.
No.
I couldn't give you like a game plan.
No.
I just couldn't. Nah. I'll just leave it to the coaches.
It is, yeah, they tell you.
You said about game plan. I was talking to one of my lads the other day. He said, everyone who watches Sam goes, well, what I'm going to do. But the reality is, you're going to have a bloody scrap for 12 6 rounds, 4 rounds, 12 rounds. And then we go, well, I'm going to wait 2 minutes, and then they get in there and they try it. And then next thing you know, you bring them into your world, don't you? And that's what you always do.
I think people look very, because I'm not the greatest boxer type, but I can box. I think a lot of people don't see that because I go to war a lot. But again, I've had loads of people say, you know, all you do is go to war, all you do is scrap.
But you don't just like an angry cat.
Yes.
You get there with your jab, and then you lean into them, and you're very good at distance control. Whether you come on the end, or if they fall into the pocket, you fight them in the pocket. You don't want to hold on, have a rest. If you're in there, you're there to have a war.
Yeah, I think, like I say, I don't think I've ever been asked to break. I've never been holding on to be asked to break.
Yeah. That's a skill.
I like what I do. I think that's more than anything. If I get into a war, that's what I've come for. I enjoy that. I don't know.
Do you worry about the after effects of
I do.
some of the fights?
I do. I mean, I do, and I've thought about that much more in the last 12 months than I ever have. But also, not to put I always still think, if I've done any damage, I've done it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
I can imagine a lot happens in sparring more than, you know.
Yeah, so again, I'll do all the checks. You know, I'm quite careful with it. I don't burn the weight off. I don't drain down. You know, do it all well. So again, it is what it is, brother. You know.
Yeah.
People have had a lot less fights than me that are in a much worse place.
Nice.
So
yeah.
I just think the way I see it, if it's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to you. Whether you have 2 fights or 52 fights.
And what made you think about it over the 12 months so much?
I don't know. I think maybe I'm reading too much of what's online. You know, Sam's been here long, you know, how many fights he's had, and I don't know. But I ain't stopped, so it ain't done that much.
Exactly. And
I think he's probably getting a bit older as well. As you get older, you're just more a bit aware of everything, to be quite honest. You've got kids, you're thinking about their futures, and
yeah, I think so. Well, again, I try not to think about these things too much, but
well, no, because you wouldn't do it then, would you? Ultimately,
I think I live by that. I think what's for you is for you. Do you know what I mean? If it's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to you whether you you play football, you work at ASDA, or you
Yeah.
box. Do you know what I mean?
And ultimately, you can cross the road on a run and,
Exactly.
and be hit by a car.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's for you. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, then it don't.
You know, the day, if it ever did come, and Soggy, who you trust, you know, like a brother, and said, you know what, hang up your gloves, would you listen to him then?
I think so. I mean, yeah, between John and Soggy, I think if one of them come up to me and said, listen, it's probably time. Yeah, I'd definitely.
Because they're the only people, yeah, apart from yourself and your missus, but they,
Yeah.
as your coach, you know each other, and you go and go, because they're saying from a place of love, or they should be saying.
But to be fair, I always ask John.
Yeah.
And John always says, listen, you don't have to worry about that because, again, if I saw anything, I'd do it. I've seen John ask people to retire.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Good on
mean?
him.
And I've seen John, turn down, big paydays because I weren't ready or I weren't in the gym or I'd have to burn the weight off. And I've seen him do that. So I think if John said it, and I always say to him, John, if you see anything change with me, do you think anything's changed from when I started to now? But I think John always says, I think you're sharper, talking and, your wittiness. I think it's sharper. So
Knock some sense in.
Yeah, probably. I do all the checks, but
I think a lot of it is as well. You get one loss on your record, and everyone on the internet wants you to retire now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's done. He's lost one. I
feel like I'm in the boxing a few generations after I should have been. Back in the old days where they all just fought each other, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
I think that should have been my time to box, but it's what it is. I'm here now.
But hopefully, with this Saudi money coming in, we're going to see more losses and people not care about it. Well, it's kind of happening in a small degree anyway,
Yeah.
But Baturviev and Beterbiev, and they've now lost both, and it's not really affected them. People aren't saying retire. And what's Baturviev's 40 years old? Yeah. So. Hopefully the tide's turning with that.
We want exciting bouts,
yeah.
Don't we? We want it so you go in there as a 50-50 or 60-40.
Well, that's what you can guarantee with Sam, isn't it? Let's be honest. That's one thing you're guaranteeing an exciting bout.
Well, who was the last kid you just beat? Forget his name.
Cutler.
But once again, starts off being pretty. You weather the storm, and then you find your range.
Yeah. Again, I know he moaned about the outcome, and he was putting over social media something about. He was waiting for the last rounds to get me, and I thought if that was your idea, then that was crazy.
Yeah, because one of the fittest in the ring.
Do you know what I mean? And again, it was my easiest night. Bar the cuts, the headbutts and the cuts. It was one of my easiest nights. And like I said before, the scorecards show that. But again, he moaned about it. But
again, it gives him an excuse, doesn't it, to why he's lost.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't want to own up to, well, you know what, he was just better on the night. Or
that's what people have such a hard problem
dealing with it. Yeah.
Not just in boxing.
But it means they can carry on. Yeah, it is. It's with the whole thing.
We haven't got the capability. But I think if I can say, fair play, Lee, you beat me, I can grow from that.
Yeah.
But when it's, it was Sam never took me on the pads.
Yeah.
Well, if you do that, if you look and go, actually, he was better than me on the night, it means you stop and look at yourself and go, well,
Exactly.
Well, he's just said I was waiting till the last rounds. Well, now you realise you can't wait till the last rounds. You learn from it.
It's crazy.
Plus, he probably wants a rematch, doesn't he? I think it might come down to that.
He's trying to get a rematch, but I wouldn't do that. Do you know what the worst thing is as well? After the fight, I went up to him and I seen him in the hotel. And he was friendly as he can be. I said, listen, they're going to ask us to do that again because of the way it ended. And I was down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't mind. Like I said, it was an easy enough fight without these cuts. And I was up for it. I'm going to do that again. It's guaranteed work. We've guaranteed to get a fight. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't mind. And then all that shit after, I was just like, do you know what? You couldn't pay me now.
Yeah.
For all the bullshit. It's something about the WBC ordered a rematch. And before I boxed him, I'll vacate that belt. I won it when I was 20 against Shane Singleton. It's not a huge deal. Do you know what I mean? I won it now anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it now just to just for my benefit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, just to you couldn't pay me to get in the ring with him again.
Have you ever felt like that any animosity between anyone else over the years?
Not really.
Yeah.
I've never really had that. I mean, Glenn Foote quite got in my face and nudged my face with his head. But nah, other than that. But again, that's for the fight, innit? I mean, but nothing personal. I mean, Gavin got a bit personal when I boxed him.
But you knew each other as well, didn't you?
Yeah, sort of knew each other. But then he come to our gym after I beat him. So weren't nothing there, but nothing like this one. Nah, I've never, again, it's my job. But like I say, I don't love it like how most people do. Do you know what I mean? It is just my job. Whether you beat me or I beat you up, I don't think about you a week later.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
just on to the next one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What belts have you won, Sam, over the years?
The important ones, British, innit? Commonwealth,
I won
European.
the Midlands. I won the Midlands first. I won the WBC International Silver against Shane Singleton. I won the Commonwealth against an African kid called Lamptey. I won the British. I won the European. And then I won the WBC International against Gavin. And then I won the WBC Silver. I won the IBF International. I won the WBA International. I won the WBC Silver again, this one.
Have you won the British outright?
Nah.
No.
That'd
be a nice belt to keep, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the Cutler fight was an eliminator.
Right.
And I know Sam Gilly was meant to fight, is it Lewis Green?
Yeah.
On the Wardley bill.
Right.
And Lewis Green pulled out a few weeks before. They did ring me to jump in.
Yeah.
But
you'd had 6 weeks
you know
off.
I mean? So I couldn't. And I know Gilly fought on the night and he drew. Not for the bout. But I know Gilly's mandatory and I fought an eliminator, so
yeah, hopefully
really
next.
I'm in line, am I not?
Yeah.
So
who's got it at the moment?
It's vacant.
Oh, it's vacant.
Yeah, they're going to box for a vacant title. I don't know who had it. I don't know who vacated.
Is it still 4 defences to take it home?
Not from what you win it, and then you've got to defend it against. And you've got to defend it twice, no, 3 times, but one of them got to be a mandatory.
Right.
But I think they add up, so could I won it as a
so
welterweight? I defended it, and then I fought my mandatory Brit Skeet, who beat me.
Yeah.
So I think I could win it, and I've got to defend it, and then defend it against a mandatory.
And that's where you'd like to go, is it?
That's what I mean.
Hopefully.
It'd be nice to have that on the mantelpiece, wouldn't it?
I'm very OCD like that. I've got all the belts. I'll say, even if you lose them, you get to keep them, don't you? So, yeah, I've got all the belts at home. It's the only one I ain't got. I won a British Masters as well, early doors.
Oh, early doors. Yeah. Was that your first one you ever won?
No, I won the Midlands first. Yeah. I was meant to defend it. And then I had a pull out. And I fought Kev McCauley.
Oh, Kev McCauley. We want to get him on the show.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. On about journeyman. How many 200 bouts?
Yeah.
There's a skill in that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's no joke.
And he was a good boxer himself.
Very decent, yeah. Again, another one that I think he started and he was meant to be somewhat decent, but just didn't have the, just didn't have to get up and go. Do you know what I mean? So
a few things got to line into place, haven't they?
Yeah.
If you're not an Olympian, not coming up through having a massive amateur career,
and
you've not only got to win, you've got to hopefully you can sell tickets. There's got to be something else, hasn't there, that kind of goes with it.
Kevin probably saw making money on the road, win, lose or draw.
Yeah.
I thought, I'll have a bit of that.
But when people look at a journeyman, they think he's crap. He's had 100 bouts, only won one. But how many times has he been stopped?
Yeah. Do you know Christian Late?
Yeah.
Remember Christian Late? He was at our gym. He was. I think he had 300.
Yeah.
I think he was stopped 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some skill, isn't it? And he's going again in some proper prospects as well, isn't he?
Boxing like Olympic gold medalists, European champions and stuff like that, just to tick him over. And he was stopped 3 or 4 times, I think it was. 300 bouts.
Yeah. They don't realise the skill in that. I think a lot of it is they're getting, or they did for a while, get foreigners come over who weren't very good journeymen.
Just blasting them out.
Yeah, they were just getting blasted out, and it's.
But it's knowing how to lose, but stay in there for the rounds.
Yeah.
And not get a dink so you can fight next week.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
It's no joke.
Harvey Mittu on here. He used to box with my dad back a day from Worley. And he was the same. He turned over not thinking he was a journeyman, just went with someone. And he says, they went, well, because I thought I won. They went, you're not supposed to win, Harvey. What do you mean? Because you're a journeyman. And he had 100 bouts in the end. And I said, well, how come he didn't do more? He goes, Kev, I'd done 101. I'd have had to stay there until 200.
Yeah.
And he went, but I had to round it off at 100 and just leave it then.
I'm very much the same. I can't do 7 rounds on the bag.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can't do, I can't do an odd number skipping. Like if I'm skipping for 9 minutes, I'll do the extra one. If I'm doing press ups,
It's a 3 minutes range drive. You're mad then.
yeah, well, yeah. I've never thought of
Yes, it's now,
that.
innit? Can we do another one while you're here?
Well, you've got the minute to rest, haven't you?
Aye, that's a good point. Yeah, I've never thought about that actually. Jesus. But yeah, I always round it up to an even number. Yeah.
How many bets you had now? That's a
I think that was 45.
Oh, so we've
Oh,
got another
madness.
5 then. It's either 5 or another 15.
We ain't got a choice. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what comes up.
It's something different. Whenever you've got your shirt off, you're covered in tattoos, isn't you?
Do you still? You had a friend who tattooed you every time you
did.
won, didn't you? Is he still doing that?
Yeah, you must know Si Spence from down
He
the
used to
road,
coach,
SS
yeah?
Tattoos. Yeah, he did.
So Spencer,
Yeah, he did.
Kyle Spencer, Box
Yeah,
Sports.
Yeah, after every fight or whenever I had time, I'd go down and we'd pick some out and we'd just get it done.
Give him a shout out. What's his
SS Tattoos, I couldn't tell you where it is.
He used to have one in Cayford.
That's
by
it,
you,
that's the one.
Yeah, by
SS.
the snooker club.
Yeah.
That's it, he's still there. That's the one. Cayford by the Snooker Club, SS Tattoos.
He was in the gym, wasn't he? He's moved to his own place, just next to it. He used to be in the Paragon Gym, was it?
Yeah.
And he's got his own
just
bit
moved
now,
down
hasn't
front
he?
now,
Yeah.
So that's a shout
Good
out.
guy, man.
Yeah.
Good guy. I still speak to him today.
And what do they mean anything to you?
Not
Or?
really. I mean, I wish I'd go back and
Have some with a bit of meaning.
yeah. Had all the kids obviously, and yeah. I like the look of it. I just went in for something every time. I would find something. I guarantee I'd find something every time I went there.
It's a problem once you start with that, isn't it?
I still need to finish my back really. On my whole top half done. But
Is there
Yeah,
any
so
regret thinking, I wish I'd have had a Tasmanian devil? Or
nah, not really. I mean, if I could take some off, I probably would and have something different. But no, not really. Got a lot of sayings as well, like quotes and stuff like that. But yeah, not really. I mean, I quite like them all, but you always want something different.
I think the thing is sometimes you go, oh, I've used that space there, and I know I thought of a really cool thing to put there instead.
That,
Yeah.
So, you could put something there. Like I've got this here, and I think I see tattoos now, and I think, oh, that'd look better.
Yeah.
But again, it's like anything, can it? You get a new phone, you want the other one.
Well,
You get a
yeah.
new car, you want the other one.
Mm.
So it is what it is. But yeah, I ain't finished yet.
well, brilliant. Is there anything else you want to say?
No. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, so
Appreciate it.
we wish you all the luck when you get your next fight. Come down, promote it, anything we can.
100%.
But before you go, have you got any quotes or sayings that have helped you get through life?
Like I just said, like tatted, never stress the inevitable. I think it goes quite well with the boxing. Do you know what I mean? People stress about their fight or what's going to happen in the fight. It doesn't matter. You're going to fight either way. Unless you're going to quit. So that's what I always thought. Never stress the inevitable. I'm never worried about a fight because what's the point? It's my job. It's like getting up and worrying about going to work. So yeah, never stress the inevitable. What's going to happen is going to happen.
Well, thank you again, brother, for coming on. And thank you guys for listening. So
Cheers.
until we'll see each other next time, I want you all to take care of yourselves and each other. Ta-ra a bit.
Cheers.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.
Listen.